Hello and welcome to Cindershadow Gaming. I'm your host Cindershadow, and today is This Week in Magic. Well, unexpected turns of events. This Week in Magic is a big one. There was a lot that was released in the last 24 to 48 hours of Magic the Gathering. There's 2 sets coming down the pipeline, so we got lots to talk about that. And there's some reports coming out of the United States about Walmart and Target and other companies possibly stopping carrying trading card games. So there is a lot to unpack with that. So from Walmart, there's some of the locations have actually posted a picture of, or not a picture, a notice saying, "Attention trading card vendor. The trading card categories have been removed from the sales floor and sales of these items have been suspended due to inappropriate customer behavior and increased demand. Please do not stock these until further notice." The people that stock in Walmart and Target are usually a third party from like MJ Holdings or something like that, and they come in with boxes and stock it appropriately. Now, I know myself, I went to my local Walmart and I actually took a photo of the stuff, which I will probably show here at some point. But they're fully stocked in my Walmart, which is the biggest stock I've ever seen in my Walmart. Usually it is so picked over that they have maybe 1 or 2 packs left. So there is something going on here. I'm not entirely sure. They're going to have a certain level of product, so maybe product has been shifted. I am in Canada, so maybe things are coming more north to the border here and being sold appropriately, and we'll have to wait to see what goes on with that. But ultimately, there is a bunch of stores that will no longer be stocking this product. Does that mean they won't be selling it? Do they maybe go to online sales? We don't know. What's going on here is seeming to be a mystery, and it's ongoing story, so we'll probably keep a close eye on how things move with Walmart and with the trading card games. There has been a huge surge in other games like Pokemon as well, where things get picked over and completely destroyed. Now, a lot of things have been around the Walmart and the Targets, where people will buy a pack, open the pack, reseal the pack with just lands in the pack or tokens, and then another person comes up and buys it for their kid opens it, and then they get a feel bad moment because they get scammed. So there's been repacks like this. There's people that are lining up first thing in the morning with a hot tip that these things are being put on the shelves, and in some cases they are a lot cheaper in the United States for the product than a local game store, and that is part of why there is these problems. However, up here in Canada, our product, our Walmarts are selling at least in a lot of cases a 20 to 30% higher markup than your local game store. So we don't see that as much because the local game stores have a good, thriving economy in that sense. The one thing that I gotta say though is with the Jumpstart product that is out there at the Walmarts, we've actually got local game stores going out to the Walmarts, picking up all the packs because they are selling them cheaper than the local game stores, and then the local game stores are turning around and selling them as if they were brand new product. There is a lot of issues wrong with this. There's a legality part of this that can be seen as very negative. It can actually get these local game stores into serious trouble because they're now selling something that is previously as a resale. They paid full purchase price. GST, our government sales tax, was already paid on it, and now the store is reselling it at a higher markup, not knowing that it actually is a resale of a product, and thus GST is also being charged again on these products, and it's just this cycle. And so there's a lot of very bad ways of doing this, and I know in some states in America it is actually illegal to do this without disclosing that the packs were purchased before and then resold. So there is a lot of there's a fine line you got to really walk with that if you are an LGS and you are buying these products and in reselling them. You do got to, in a lot of cases, disclose that they were originally Walmart packs, and you're taking a chance with this at that point. Were those packs resealed? The LGS doesn't know, and the LGS could be on the hook for a lot of problems with this. So honestly, I would stay away from doing that as an LGS, just to absolve yourself of any problems that do arise with it. With Walmart not wanting to carry them, I'm not surprised. A lot of times you go into these stores and they're completely destroyed, and just people are not very nice in Walmart. But you get that in any shelving in any Walmart. So I don't know. It's something that we got to keep an eye on. As far as I know, they are still selling them at normal rates here. Like I said, I was in my local Walmart yesterday, and the whole shelves were full. Things weren't picked over or anything like that. So we'll have to wait to see on that one. Now, on with the bigger side of things with Magic. We've got stuff from Modern Horizons coming out in this article named The Summer of Legend. This came out yesterday. There is a lot to unpack here, so let's get right into it. First off, if you didn't know, Dungeons and Dragons has a new game coming out called Dark Alliance. I have watched these trailers. I absolutely want to play this game. I really hope I can somehow get a copy of this at release. This is by far my favorite part of Dungeons and Dragons, is the Drizzt series. This is, you are the party of Drizzt, and you have it's pretty much bringing to life R.A. Salvador's novel of Drizzt Do'Urden and Gwenthrar and Catti-brie and Wulfgar and Bruenor, and there's just so much to unpack there. And the trailer in itself, I'm going to try and mute this for you guys. I will hear it on my end. But okay, you have the Beholder, which is absolutely crazy looking. You got some wraiths and stuff like that. And when I saw this trailer, I went, what is this? This looks crazy. And you can see the rolling in the ground is Drizzt. So why am I talking about this? This is a D&D game. Well, we have the D&D set coming out, and it looks like they're tying them in together. This is absolutely amazing to see, and I, for one, am very excited for this. I know a lot of people are moving away from Magic the Gathering, but when my one part of Dungeons and Dragons has truly come to life, now we've got the video game coming out, we've got the Magic the Gathering set that's going to revolve around this video game. It looks like there's going to be so much here that actually has me excited for the game and excited for playing Magic and being part of that. To me, this is what it was all working up to be. I know things of the past have not been great in Magic, but this, to me, is bringing things back to where they should be. Magic the Gathering has been one thing that I've played for a very long time, and honestly, without it, I didn't have a sense of normality. It was my way of escaping the world of today and dealing with things on my own account. I had a very long history of playing the game and just being able to avoid certain things. And honestly, Dark Alliance looks crazy. It looks like the 4-party. It looks like it's co-op. I want to be able to sit there and run through these games with maybe some of you on stream or something like that and actually go through this. I gotta say, at this point, I am more excited about the video game than I am about the Magic set, but what I'm excited about the Magic set is the fact that it looks like we're going to get Drizzt on a card, and that is something amazing. Modern Horizons 2. Fetch lands. We knew these were coming. Not a big deal. We got, what is this? There's a bunch of previews. May 20th is reveals. May 24th is previews begin. Yada, yada, yada. There is apparently a booster box for Modern Horizons 2. I don't have as much care about the Modern Horizons 2, mainly because Modern Horizons 1 in my eyes, was a complete failure. It completely turned the format on its head, and then they had to reverse all of that because most of the cards that did that were banned. They had to ban from the set. So, in all honesty, it doesn't excite me that this set is coming out. Modern Horizons 2 is not exciting to me. I think it's just going to ruin Modern even more. You're going to have people buying things up like usual. Fetch lands are in there. They've got 3 different versions of the fetch lands. You got normal version, you got the full art, and then you have the old school versions of these fetch lands from like Onslaught, of these particular ones. I don't care. I'm done with fetch lands. Modern is not going to sit in the same way. They're trying to make it change up every time. Modern used to be, people used to play Modern because it was more stable than Standard, and now they're doing whatever they can to inject a change in the format, and it's just, it doesn't interest me in the least bit anymore. I'm just sitting there going, Sanctum Prelace is one of the cards I believe was spoiled early on. 2 white and a generic for 2/2. Enter the number, choose a number. Non-creature spells with mana value equal to of the chosen number can't be cast. They're going back with the time-shifted frames again in Modern Horizons. It's kind of interesting that they're doing that. And Counterspell. Counterspell is the big deal with Modern because it's not legal in Modern. So this is going to make it legal in Modern. There is no purpose of this not being legal in Modern at this point, but you're going to get counter decks a lot more viable. And, you know, probably the biggest card to me that has been spoiled is Urza's Saga. Urza's Saga actually was a set, and there's a lot of lore entitled with that. And if you guys have been around with the channel for a while, you guys know I am a big fan of the Magic Historian. He also has Fantasy Geographic as another channel. You guys should check that out. He has covered a lot of lore with the Urza Saga and Urza in particular. So if he hasn't covered this part, he's leading up to it and will probably be soon. Those videos that he does are amazing. There's so much time and effort him and his significant other do put into them. So yeah, do go check that out. But Urza Saga being one of the ideal sets of the past, it just makes sense that this becomes an actual saga. And Urza Saga being, for the first one, it gains tap. So the enchantment gains a tap ability. This, I read this and I just picked up on this now. You're giving an enchantment a tap ability. Tap abilities are lands and creatures and artifacts. When was the last enchantment that had a tap ability? I don't recall this. Usually enchantments will grant a creature to tap for an ability. This is interesting. Oh, okay, I see. I just noticed they have enchantment land. So this is actually an enchantment land, which I don't think has been done before. That's interesting. That is very interesting. That makes a lot more sense in my head. But now we have sagas that are no longer an enchantment. So now we're mixing things here. So enchantment land, that is something different. I just picked up on that now. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. A land. How does this work? I'm gonna have to look up some enchantment rules here on sagas, because this has the super type land. Do you get rid of it? Is it still on the board? I have a feeling there is going to be something down the line that they're changing a rule here, because they've never made a saga a land. Sagas have 100% always been enchantments. And as an enchantment, once it gets to the third counter, you sacrifice it and get rid of it. Does that still happen as a land? I'm guessing it does, but that's interesting, because this is also going to have land drop things. There's a lot more behind this card and making it a land than people might realize than this. So that's very, very interesting that they're making this enchantment a land. That's going to be something that's going to probably break a format without people realizing it. Urza Saga, for its second one, gains 2, tap it, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token with this creature this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. This also isn't an artifact, which is kind of interesting. If you had multiple versions of this out, because it's not legendary, you could tap this before it got to that step, and then have mana in your mana pool, but it wouldn't carry over. Yeah, it's hard. There's going to be something here that people aren't seeing. And then its third part is search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. That's not huge, but that may have legacy effects to it, being able to have something like that. So there's a lot behind that that's going to be very interesting. The fact that they're doing it. It's an enchantment, it's a land, it's a saga, it helps you with artifacts, it combines themes, flavors, explaining how it all came together. They have another version of it. So yeah, they're going to have some sort of rules clarification on that, I am pretty sure. So here is the case art for the Dungeons and Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. You have Gwynthrar, you have Dritz right on the beginning, right on the cover of the packaging. So this to me now spells that we are getting Dritz Dildurden, however you pronounce his name. I've never said it right. You're going to have him on a card. He is going to be a legendary creature. I, for one, will want a copy of this just to build a commander deck around him. I don't care what he does. I want him to build a commander deck. Straight up. That is where things are going to be. And if that goes forward, great. So, from Adam Paquette, another amazing artist out there. And I have a friend that is going to go nuts over these lands because he absolutely loves his art. They're the basic lands. And these basic lands are a knockout in my eyes. They have your basic version of an adventure spelling out on them. Instead of it being flavor text, it's words towards an adventure, which is going to be amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a special magazine and they have a card in that magazine that will be standard legal. FYI, they've done this in the past with Scries. And other things. There was the new Counterspell one, I believe, in a Japanese promo as well in a manga that you were getting. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see things like this. The secret layer around this is going to be something else. We know there's going to be a secret layer, and we know there's going to be more with that. You know, going back to Dritz, we're going to have an artifact, which will be the Onyx Panther. We're going to have 2 artifact equipments, which will be his 2 swords. What is it? Icing Death? Why can't I think of the other one? What is your other sword? Icing Death and Twinkle. Those are both going to have to be legendary swords. Hopefully those do end up in there. There's going to be so much stuff. And then the other question is are we going to finally get a mask in the game, the Mask of 1,000 Faces, where it can always shift your appearance? That is another part of Driz series. We have the portable hole, which was something that he actually had as a magical item. So we're going to see many more things there. And then we got Tiamat. Tiamat is the most well-known dragon in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Tiamat is a 5-color evil dragon god. He controls the 5 chromatic dragons. He is seen as the one that birthed all the evil dragons, which is red, white, blue, green, and black. Each having their breath weapons. So you have an ice breath weapon, you have a fire breath weapon, you have a poison breath weapon, you have a noxious gas breath weapon, and I can't remember the last one. I cannot remember the last one, unfortunately. But there is so many things there. Tiamat is absolutely amazing. 1 of each color and 2. He's a 7/7 dragon god with flying. Now, I thought he was so gargantuan he couldn't fly, but that could very well be the case that they just added in there because most dragons in the Magic the Gathering world do fly. When he enters the battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat, then put each of them... if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat, that each have different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. My children will rule over all. So he's summoning other dragons. You're putting them to your hand, then you're going to be able to cast them. I'm surprised he doesn't give you a discount on dragon summoning, on the casting cost of them as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that would have been something that was on an earlier rendition. They went, nope, for this amount of mana, that's all he's going to do, and just try to balance it a little bit more. Now, being able to build a multicolored dragon deck, that's going to be something crazy, and the way that it's going to interact is absolutely amazing. Then we finally get our D&D Magic the Gathering Beholder. I know some people are very, very excited to finally see this. This is also the way the artwork here with the Beholder is a rendition to the old school artwork and rule books of Dungeons and Dragons. This is taking a page right out of the monster manual and showing the way things are going to be. The Beholder doesn't look like, I've seen there is another artwork for the Beholder. It does not look like it's legendary. So Beholder is looking like it's going to be a very basic creature that's going to have multiple modes. I would guess it's a mythic, because a Beholder is not something that is seen in nature very often, but they can be singular or in multiples, like a mated pair or multiple versions of a Beholder. So we will have to wait to see. It's going to be insane what a Beholder is. This is a black creature, if I remember seeing the other artwork. So it's kind of interesting. They are going to associate the color black with everything that seems to be evil in Magic the Gathering for the Dungeons and Dragons set, which isn't necessarily always the case. It's usually necromancy and things going that route, which can very well be more evil magic, but they're giving it right to the Beholder right off the back. Beholders generally, I believe, are chaotic evil, if I remember from my Monsters Manual and everything like that. So I am very excited. I am very happy to see Dritz leading the way for the D&D set. I really, really hope that we can dive into this. I hope that we do have play coming back. There has been statements coming out from the Wizards Play Network. May 28th, it sounds like that they're unleashing the suspension around North America for play in stores. However, I'm still here in Alberta, and we're pretty much in the middle of a lockdown. A soft lockdown. I don't even consider it a true one, but we will have to wait to see very well. There is so much going on here that I really want that pre-release pack. Oh my god, I want multiple versions of just this box. There is also 4 commander decks. You got Aura of Courage, Dungeons of Death, Draconic Rage, Planeteer Portal. So there's going to be a portal going around to the realms. Tiamat, I believe, resides in the underworld. I could be wrong with that. He doesn't reside on like an Earth-based system, so we'll have to see where it goes. And then one of the most iconic things we do have for D&D is the Vorpal sword. This sword, if you had this enchantment on your swords and blades, it severed heads, it severed arms, it could do criticals, kills, and everything like that. They've gone too far with this. I can tell you right now, for 1 black, you get a Vorpal sword equipment. For 2 black, you get to equip it. And for 8 mana, 3 black and 5 generic, until end of turn, Vorpal sword gains. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. In black, there is so many other ways to create mana with sacrificing creatures. This being 8 is nothing. It's going to be easy for black decks to pull this off. This is too undercosted. There should have been something else here with the mana cost, like discard your hand or something. The fact that it's going to be you hit a player and lose the game, you have trample with this, it's done. Your game's over. It's going to be ridiculous. The equipped creature gets +2 and has death touch. ultimately you could give it +5 and has Death Touch. That ability alone for 8 mana is going to be broken and bonkers when it comes down to Magic the Gathering. I can't wait to see this in Standard because we know how well this is going to be alongside Flynn, alongside the Strixhaven Stadium, and now a Vorpal Sword. We're going to have a deck that's going to win in multiple different ways that you're not even going to actually have to damage your opponent very soon. They're talking about a secret lair. It looks like June 29th we're going to have another one. And then love your local game store with a legendary play. So that your game store is coming back May 28th. We're not going to see that here in Alberta, so I'll have to see if I can get myself Fabled Passage here, but this is going to be a very expensive promo, straight up. Beginning June 18th, or when Sanctum Play returns in your local store, purchase $50 USD or greater of sealed Magic product to find this promo into your hands. So $50 USD, so probably $75 here Canadian, to get a Fabled Passage. That's going to be pretty decent. And then the convention edition of the Mystery Boosters. That's actually a big thing. It's coming to your local game store. The Mystery Boosters have test cards in them, or test concept cards in them, that are very sought after. So, and they were only in the convention edition. They weren't in the actual edition that was done to your local game store. But with the current world event, all of those got put on hold. So this was something else that had to be presented there. And they've got this overstock of them, so I'm not surprised they're coming there. And then also we've got Historic Anthology 5 coming on to Arena with the old school Vorinclex and a Whirler-Rogue in there as part of it, so there will be more behind that. There's also a Mirror event coming up where they've got a different version of Oko and a different version of Teferi Time Raveler going to be in it. So they're going to make them in a different light. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do differently. There is other versions of Teferi that were spoiled out there, so maybe it's just one of those. You know, Teferi, one of the biggest things with him was the fact that he shuts down all instants that your opponent can control. And Oko just being so powerful, being able to mutate anything on the board into something else just made it too much, and that's why they're both banned. And ultimately they shouldn't have been printed as cards. So there's also the Arena Open that comes out tomorrow for Arena. You guys do check that out as well. I'm not going to be around. I'm going to try and get some more videos done for you guys because I am actually taking off tomorrow for a well-needed night in the mountains. It is my 15th year wedding anniversary. Me and my wife, we have been together for over 20 years at this point and married 15 of them. So, you know, we got to do something for ourselves. Even though we don't have much right now, we're going away to the mountains, thankfully, for a night and away from the kid for a day. Even though in the current condition, we're still able to travel and get away. So it's nice in that sense. We're not where we wanted to be at this point. I was hoping that we would be able to be on a trip overseas or something like that, but things are just not there, especially with the world event. So hopefully in the future, maybe once again when we can save up money and do a trip, we will. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting the channel. If you guys want to be a part of that, there is Patreon and membership links down below. You can get yourself added to the end scroll if you want to join up on that. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I've lost a few subs over the last little while because YouTube's doing another purge. Every time I upload, I'm going to lose subs. It's just inevitable at this point. It happens. It's the way things are. I want to grow, but I don't want to shrink like I seem to be again. So until you guys next time, have a great day, and we will see you all later.